Hello, everyone. Just give me a minute here. I'm going to get set up just to make sure everything is working the way it needs to. Awesome. Great. Let's fix this. Let's see. Thank you for being patient with me. Just give me a minute to get set up. I'm just making sure everything is going. If you want to, as you're hopping in, if you just want to say, hey, well, looks like maybe we're working now. Great. We are working now. That is what I like. Great. Fabulous. All right. So it looks like everything's here. Let me just double check my life here. Hello. I see people are up and on. Hello. We are talking about paraprofessionals today and modeling for them. So let's get started talking about hello. I see people are hopping on and saying hi. Welcome. I'm just going to make sure I'm not missing anything yet. Okay, we are good. We are good to go. All right, so we're talking modeling for paraprofessionals. Let me close some of these tabs so I'm not so distracted. Great. I'm excited. So every month, the first Wednesday of every month, I've been doing a live video to explain a little bit about a topic that you all told me actually at the end of last year, whether you believe it or not. So in like November, December of 2023, I asked all of you kind of what you wanted to hear, and back to school and modeling for paraprofessionals sounded like something that absolutely needed to be discussed. So I'm pretty excited to talk about it because it is a crucial part of our classroom. Just to make sure that our paraprofessionals are doing the things when we're not there or when we are there. We want to make sure that they are following all the things that we need them to do. So great. I'm so happy all of you are here. If you have any questions along the way about modeling for paraprofessionals, you are welcome to comment. I will try to watch comments as quickly as I can, but I am on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok right now. So I will try to look around to make sure I'm not missing any comments or questions. But I think the biggest part with paraprofessionals is just getting to know them too, right? We have to build the trust with them so that when I do need to give feedback or critiques, that we can really have a good communication, good conversation about the supports that are going to benefit our students. And that oftentimes opens up, that open communication. I can be open with you, you can be open with me. So building that trust, building that relationship, making them an equal person in the conversation as well. Because modeling what you want from them, they also need to trust you. And so that's part of it too. When you have paraprofessionals, whether they're new, whether they're veteran paraprofessionals, they need to trust you. And so we want to make sure that you are building that relationship with them, and being clear and concise with them about your expectations. So first, starting with the trust, building the trust, but then if they are open and willing to learn, you have a paraprofessional that's willing to learn, that's a godsend. We love them for that. I do highly recommend having something like a paraprofessional binder, an assistant binder, some type of expectations, rules, outlines, how to do things, helpful visuals, helpful reminders. So I think partly that kind of goes into it too, is like a central hub for all the things. So I'm going to share my paraprofessional binder just slightly. And again, I can get links for all of that as well. But, the first page literally I have in my paraprofessional binder is getting to know you, because it's super important to get to know our paraprofessionals. What are their favorite things? What, favorites for candies, chocolates, food, drinks, gift cards, that kind of stuff. More like snack stuff, like quick breakfast things that I can pick up on the way to work, makes them super happy. It's awesome. And of course, contact information for my paraprofessionals, right? Building trust with them, getting them to know me, whatever, all the things, right? My words are off today. Can you tell? Okay. But then like general, like classroom information type things, where to park, where can they put their things, that kind of stuff, their schedule, when their lunch is, some of the other things here, more building information, having visitors at work. I didn't think I'd have to put it in here, but I had to put it in here for a paraprofessional I had that was having visitors at work, phone usage, using your emails, that kind of stuff. And then expectations. So yes, you're going to be modeling things and doing stuff, but here's some expectations of things that I want for my classroom. More expectations, individual responsibilities, talking a little bit about their job and their role. Obviously, modeling is important. We'll get there, I promise. Communication, again, building that trust, letting them communicate with you, super important. Let's see what else. And then kind of goes into details about instruction and monitoring goal work. So taking data, I do have an example here that I will show you about how to take data on a data sheet and how I would kind of teach my paraprofessional at the beginning of the year. Working with students with autism or language impairments. If you have non-vocal students, there's a page for that. Students with sensory concerns or sensory needs, in stimming. So that's also there. Talking more about autism. Well, there's lots of autism in here. Hold, please. Oh, it explains like some of the things that could be helpful, like understanding what receptive language is versus expressive language, especially when taking data, errorless learning, wait time. And so when I get my paraprofessionals at the beginning of the year and we have some time together, I do go through this paraprofessional binder to explain some of these things, talking about respectful terminology, that kind of thing, any classroom procedural things. So yes, I go through the expectations with my students, but then I also go through those same expectations with my paraprofessionals, because I want to make sure that they know what's the expectation for transitions. Are we lining up at the door? Are we not lining up at the door? More classroom procedure stuff. Promoting independence, we go over, and modeling what promoting independence looks like and why we do it. There is an information sheet for student logins and information, again, to help keep everything together. Bus routes, parent contact, all that kind of stuff, so that if I'm out, they have a place to go to find all of these things. Emergency protocols, yada, yada, yada. So that is my paraprofessional binder. I do have this for sale. If anybody would like it, I can make sure to get the link. Otherwise, you can search my TPT store. It is there. So that's where I always start, going through kind of my expectations and routines for the classroom, my expectations for them. And then I kind of model some of those things. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Something else I feel like we need to model at the beginning of the year that maybe sometimes we forget is a prompt hierarchy and prompt levels. So if you are in my Facebook group, you do have access to this. I gave it as a freebie at the beginning of the school year. It's visuals for the classroom. Fantastic. Hang it up, put it in a paraprofessional binder, hang it around the room, whatever you need to do. I have it in color and in black and white. And so it goes over, some independence, what that is, and it kind of defines it. Visual, what that is, and it gives an example, because I felt having examples was super important for paraprofessionals to understand what proximity means, because proximity could be a prompt as well. We might not always think that, but proximity could totally be a prompt. And positional, how you position something, if you've like positioned their page closer to them, that kind of stuff. Put your pencil closer to them, that kind of thing. And then I break down also what is an indirect verbal prompt, a partial verbal prompt, and a direct verbal prompt, because there are 3 different verbal prompts that you could be giving, which is confusing, but hopefully not. And then I do have partial physical and full physical, and explain that typically that is something that is not used because it is most intrusive. So yes, that binder is in my TPT store. If you look paraprofessional binder or you go straight to my page, it's probably one of the first or second resources that pops up once you scroll down a little bit. Paraprofessional training binder. Or if you just send me a message right now, I can get you that link after our call. So, all right, let me just double check. I'm not missing any other questions. Great. Think I'm okay. Somebody else just said I'm very organized. Thanks. I try to be, because being organized helps me communicate to my paraprofessionals as well. So, okay, let's go over some more modeling things. So at the beginning of the year, I always the prompt page. The prompt page is not in the binder. That's actually a good point. The prompt page I have for free in my Facebook group. It is special education teacher support. If you search that in groups in Facebook, you can be there. And then these are also in any of my task analysis resources. So I think I have a hand washing freebie on my TPT store that'll have these prompt levels in there. If you want to just download that, if you're not on Facebook, that's fine too. So that's there. Yes. Assistant binder in my TPT store, prompt levels in my Facebook group. Okay. Great. Yes, of course. Just send me a message and I can send you those links after. Because I know sometimes when I send links in chats, they're not clickable and it's really annoying. So just send me a message after this live and I will make sure to get you the links. Great. So yeah, always at the beginning of the year, I sit down with my paraprofessionals for as long as I can, as many times as I can, to kind of go over some of the things. Of course, it's like student behavior plans, what that looks like. It is also like how to support a student in unpacking their backpack, how to support a student at lunch, right? We go through and talk about these scenarios and explain them of how they should be working. But then also if I have like a data sheet for a paraprofessional to take data on, then I will make sure that I sit down with them to take data with that data sheet. And I will explain to them exactly what I'm looking for. So I pulled up just a random data sheet that I have, that like I would put the student's name, the data that they were assessed, the grade, obviously, whatever it is, the school year, right? That's super helpful for me. But then looking at this data sheet, it could be really tough to kind of understand what it is. So the first thing on the top, it says recite alphabet 2. So basically I'm going to say, all right, say your alphabet. And I might even start them and go A, right? And then they'll go B, C, D, E, right? So like if they recite their alphabet to H and stop after that, then like I'm going to mark all the way to H, right? And so at the bottom, there's a little code that I might want them to follow. I might not want them to follow. I might just want them to check off the box, whatever it is. And then they have to sequence letters too. So I might give them a sequence strip with a bunch of letters and they have to sequence the letters, or an alphabet puzzle. I've done that too, where there's about a puzzle and they have to put them in the correct spots. Uppercase receptive identification. So then I'm going to show them uppercase letters and I'm going to say, can you point to G, point to A, point to K? And I'm going to go through all these letters and that's what they're going to do. And then uppercase expressive, right? I'm going to show them a card and it's going to say T, right? And so then they have to say T back, right? And I explain all these things in the data sheet and go through all of this of how that would look, what it looks like. Again, explaining what expressive and receptive are, because it's important to know those differences. So again, sitting down with your paraprofessionals, going through, taking that time. Okay, now you're probably looking at me going, Heather, I never have time to sit down with my paraprofessionals and just like explain these things. Nobody does. I'm going to be very honest. So because you don't have time in your school day to do these things, we understand our paraprofessionals come at the bell, sometimes leave at the bell. Something I've always done is if they can't stay for whatever reason, I've always asked my administration, could they get some extra money if they stay for an hour after school or stay for a half hour after school for, multiple days. because sometimes it's been really helpful to like be able to sit down with your paraprofessionals to explain behavior plans, explain data sheets, explain a task analysis if you're going through something like that. So finding that extra time in your day, even if it is 5, 10, 15 minutes, it's super helpful. So you really want to make sure that you do take the time to train them and sit down. It is hard, but again, if you can get them 10 minutes before school starts or 15 minutes after school before they leave, that extra time adds up. And then that's something that they can apply to their classroom, in your classroom, literally the next day. And they can support your students even better, and then therefore supporting you better. So, okay, this is getting too long. But again, if you have some type of like task cards, work tasks, again, you're sitting down with them, you're showing them, okay, this is a fluency station, this is what it would look like. Okay, you show it, they say 15, great. 16, great. You know, this one, 16 again, great. You know, whatever. You're going to go through all of the cards and show them what a fluency station looks like. Again, sitting down, finding that time, it's super, super important. It's just going to make your classroom run more smoothly because they can do the things that you already know in your head. You're like, just do it. But they actually might need time to sit and understand it. I also have an errorless file folder here. Some people are not as familiar as to what an errorless file folder is. So it basically is just an errorless task. No matter where they put the pens or the markers, it's going to be correct, which is sometimes a hard concept for people, believe it or not. No shade, no shade. But sometimes they just don't understand, like, wait, where are they supposed to put these? Oh, it like doesn't matter. It's an errorless task. So again, just explaining what that is, finding that time. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to wrap up here. This has been 15 minutes, probably way too long because I love to chat with you all. But again, that paraprofessional binder, if you're looking for just a reset of some expectations, it's in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. Send me a message on any of the socials that you are on. I can get you that direct link that'll be clickable. Because once I get off this live, I don't get any of the comments, so I don't get to see what that is. So that would really, really help me if you send me that message. And again, same thing with the prompt levels. If you're looking for the prompt levels, I can send you that either from my Facebook group, or I can send you the free download of that task analysis of hand washing, and then this free prompt level will be also in there. So great. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds here if anybody has any other questions. But yeah, come back next month. I'm just going to look here. What were we talking about next month? I don't even remember. I think it was more about modeling, but with AAC. So come on back for more. I'm going to try to bring some AAC tips in here, little do's and don'ts maybe. But yeah, thank you so much for being here.